Hello everyone, Miss Meek here. Today we're going to talk about the coordinate plane. Now in 5th grade you talked about the coordinate plane and how to graph points, but in 6th grade the graph has quadrupled in size. We actually now work with 4 sections of the graph. Each section actually has a name. The first section is called quadrant 1. And in quadrant one, you're going to have positive x values, so positive x values, and you're also going to have positive y values. Now, just as a quick reminder, as I wrote that positive, comma, positive, and put them in parentheses, remember that we write our points x, comma, y, and they are grouped together in parentheses. Our x coordinate tells us which way to go, right or left, so right or left. And our y coordinate tells us which way to go, up or down. So again, we do x and then y is how we write our points. So when I say that it's a positive x and a positive y, that means that both of those numbers in the parentheses for our coordinate are going to be positive. In quadrant 2, though, that changes. In quadrant 2, if you have a point in quadrant 2, you're going to have a negative x axis, a negative x, and then you're going to have a positive y-axis. So that means that your point is going to be a negative and then a positive. So a negative going to the left and then a positive going up. In quadrant 3, which is down below quadrant 2, everything is negative. You're going to have a negative x because you're traveling to the left, and you're going to have a negative y because you're traveling down. And then last but not least, we have quadrant 4 over here. Quadrant 4, you're going to have a positive x because you're traveling to the right, but you're going to have a negative y because you are traveling down. And so you will have a negative number there. All right, if you ever forget the order of our quadrants, just think about a C for coordinate plane. If you start here in quadrant 1 and you draw a C in the direction of the shape of a C, so if you draw an arrow in the shape of a C, it will go through all of the coordinates or all the quadrants in the correct order. So 1 to 2 to 3 and then down here to 4. Now this one place, this point right here in the middle where everything comes together, this right here is called the origin. It is point 0, 0. It is our starting point. So as we graph, we will start from 0, 0 and then move to the right or the left and then move up or down in order to plot our points. So let's go ahead and practice this. I have plotted some points for us. I want us to write the coordinates of these points. Remember, the way that we write our coordinates is x, comma, y. So x is left or right. Y is up and down. So for point A here, I am going to start at the origin, so start at the 0, 0, and I'm going to travel over 9 to the left. Negative 9 is our x coordinate, and then I'm going to travel up to 6. And so my y coordinate is going to be a 6. So for point A, it is going to be negative 9, and then I go up to the 6. So that's negative 9, 6. That is that coordinate. For coordinate B, I'm going to start here at the 0, 0, 0, and travel over 2 to the left before I hit point B. So negative 2. And then I'm traveling down to negative 3. So B is at negative 2, negative 3. For point C, I'm starting at the origin, so 0, 0. And I'm traveling over 2 to the right. So I'm going over to 2. So my x coordinate is a 2. And then I'm going up to 6. So my point C is at 2, 6. 2, 6. And then lastly, point D, again, I'm starting at 0, 0. And I'm traveling over to the right 4. And then I'm going down, so I'm going to have a negative y down to -6. So point D is at 4, -6. Now let's plot some points. So I have some points written here that we're going to plot. So point A, I'm going to start at the origin, 0, 0. 4 tells me to go to the right 4. And then I'm going to go up 7, and I'm going to put a dot, and that is point A. For point B, I'm going to start at the origin and go over to the left 5, and then I'm going to go up 3, and I'm going to put a dot, and that is going to be point B. Now, as you plot your points, you may not want to draw these lines on your graph because it can start getting super, super confusing and kind of messy. So the problem is that you can't see my pencil moving on the screen, and so I'm drawing those lines so you can actually see the pathway that I'm taking to get my points. So that's the only reason why I was drawing those lines, so that you can see the pathway I'm taking. For point C, I'm going to go 7 to the right because it's a positive 7. Remember, that's my X. It tells me which way to move. And then I'm going down to -6, so point C is going to be right here. Now, when I talk about my X and my Y, that may be a little confusing. What I'm referring to is the X-axis and the Y-axis. Our X-axis is this horizontal line right here. So when I talk about my X, I'm talking about the X-axis. So my X coordinate comes first. So in all of these points over here, this first coordinate is our X. And then my Y is the vertical axis that I'm working with. This one right here. That is my Y-axis. And so as I plot these points, I move left or right on the X-axis. That's what I mean by my X. And then I move up and down on the Y-axis. That is what I mean when I talk about the Y. So X, Y, meaning I move left and right on this X-axis and then up and down on the Y-axis. All right, I hope this jogged your memory about how coordinate planes work and how we graph points and how we read points, and also some new information about all the different quadrants that we have. All right, I will talk to you later. Bye.